Hello, welcome back to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid story, book 1. Now it's November, Thursday. On the bus ride into school today, we passed by Grandma's house. It got rolled with the toilet paper last night, which I guess was no big surprise. I do feel a little bad because it looked like it was gonna take a long time to clean up. But on the bright side, Grandma is retired, so she probably didn't have anything planned for today anyway. Relatively short diary today. And then let's move on to Wednesday. In third period, Mr. Underwood, our physical education teacher, announced that the boys will be doing a wrestling unit for the next 6 weeks. If there's one thing most boys in my school are into, it's professional wrestling. So Mr. Underwood might as well have set off a bomb. Lunch comes right after physical education, and the cafeteria was a complete madhouse. Are they doing the wrestling or just making a mess? I don't know what the school is thinking having a wrestling unit. But I decided if I don't want to get twisted into a pretzel for the next month and a half, I'd better do my homework on this wrestling business. So I rented a couple of video games to learn some moves. And you know what? After a while, I was really starting to get the hang of it. Does this feel right? Yes, no, help! In fact, the other kids in my class had better look out, but because if I keep this up, I could be a real threat. Oh, he's really doing it. Wow. Then again, I better make sure I don't do too good. This kid named Preston Mudd got named Athlete of the Month for being the best player in the basketball unit, so they put his picture up in the hallway. Pete Mudd, Athlete of the Month. It took people about 5 seconds to realize how Pete Mudd sounded when you said it out loud, and after that, it was all over for Preston. Pete Mudd, Pete Mudd. Oh, that P. Oh my goodness. Poor boy. Oh, it's a short one too. Thursday. Well, I found out today that the kind of wrestling Mr. Wonderwood is teaching completely different from the kind they do on TV. First of all, we have to wear these things called singlets, which look like those bathing suits they used to wear in the 1800s. They do look like that. Oh my god. And second of all, there are no pile drivers or hitting people over the heads with the chairs or anything like that. There's not even a ring with ropes around it. It's just basically a sweaty mat that smells like it's never been washed before. Mr. Underwood started asking for volunteers so he could demonstrate some wrestling holds, but there was no way I was going to raise my hand. Me and Rolly tried to hide out in the back of the gym near the curtain, but that's where the girls were doing their gymnastic unit. Hee hee hee. We got out of there in a hurry and we went back to where the rest of the guys were. Mr. Underwood singled me out, probably because I'm the lightest kid in the class and he could toss me around without straining himself. He showed everybody how to do all these things called a half Nelson and a reversal and a takedown and stuff like that. When he was doing this one move called a fireman's carry, I felt a breeze down below, and I could tell my singlet wasn't doing a good job keeping me covered up. Uh-oh. That's when I thanked my lucky stars that girls were on the other side of the gym. Mr. Underwood divided us up into weight groups. I was pretty happy about that at first because it meant I wasn't going to have to wrestle kids like Benny Wells who can bench press 250 pounds. It's basically ajashi, right? But then I found out who I did have to wrestle, and I would have traded for Benny Wells in a heartbeat. Greg, you will be paired up with Fregley here. Uh-oh. What kind of boy is that? Fregley was the only kid light enough to be in my weight class, and apparently Fregley was paying attention when Mr. Underwood was giving instructions because he pinned me every which way you could imagine. I spent my 7th period getting way more familiar with Fregley than I ever wanted to be. Tweet! Oh my goodness. So he's all losing? What is that watery thing on the mat? Is it sweat? Oh, poor boy. Okay, let's keep going on because it's a short one again. Tuesday. This wrestling unit has totally turned our school upside down. Now kids are wrestling in the hallways, in the classrooms, you name it. But the 15 minutes after lunch, where they let us outside, is the worst. You can't walk 5 feet without tripping over a couple of kids going at it. I just try to keep my distance and mark my words, one of these fools is going to roll right onto the cheese and start the cheese touch all over again. Oh no, don't. My other big problem is that I have to wrestle Fregley every single day. But this morning I realized something. If I can move out of Fregley's weight class, I won't have to wrestle him anymore. So today I stuffed my clothes with a bunch of socks and shirts to get myself into the next weight class. But I was still too light to move up. Huh? Oh, I realized I was gonna have to gain weight for real. At first, I thought I should just start loading up on junk food, but then I had a much better idea, which is I decided to gain my weight in muscle, not fat. Ooh. I've never been all that interested in getting in shape before, but this wrestling unit has made me rethink things. I figure if I bulk up now, it could actually come in handy down the road. The football unit is coming in the spring, and they split the teams up into shirts and skins, and I always get put on skins. I think they do that to make all the out-of-shape kids feel ashamed of themselves. If I can pack on some muscle now, it will be a whole different story next April. Greg, hopefully you're on skins. Rip, rip. He's ripping his t-shirt with his muscles. Tonight, after dinner, I got mom and dad together and I told them my plan. I told them I was going to need some serious exercise equipment and some weight gain powder too. I showed them some muscle magazines I got at the store so they could see how ripped I was going to be. Mom didn't really say anything at first, but Dad was pretty enthusiastic. I think he was just glad I had the change of heart from how I used to be when I was a kid. If you work out regularly, you can get big muscles. Muscles like Ross. Probably he's like 7, 8 years old. Cute. But Mom said if I wanted a weight set, I was going to have to prove that I could stick with an exercise regimen. She said I could do that by doing sit-ups and jumping jacks for 2 weeks. I had to explain that the only way to get totally bulked up is to get the kind of high-tech machines they have at the gym, but Mom didn't want to hear it. Of course not. I wouldn't do that either. Then Dad said if I wanted the bench press, I should keep my fingers crossed for Christmas. But Christmas is a month and a half away. And if I get pinned by Frigley one more time, I'm gonna have a nervous breakdown. So it looks like mom and dad aren't going to be any help. And that means I'm going to have to take matters into my own hands as usual. That's pretty much of it today. So have a nice day. Bye.